Hey everybody, Samantha here with Ursa Minor Sewing. So sorry that I haven't been posting videos recently. I've been pretty sick and dealing with a sick toddler. So that, and I've been working on drafting the bodice for Princess Peach. Currently I'm on attempt number 3. Hopefully this time it actually works and we can start moving into the construction of this dress. Today I wanted to give you a review on the most recent project, the truly Victorian round cage crinoline. Here's the pattern, again, just to refresh your memory. So the pattern itself and the construction process were not an overly difficult process, actually. Compared to a lot of other patterns that I've worked with, it was really simple. I mean, it had 2 pattern pieces. It had the marking strip for the ribbons, and then it had the actual pattern piece for the bag portion. And the bag, even though it had a lot of sewing machine necessities, wasn't a hard thing to put together. I think the only difficult part I had with it was sewing the bone channels into the bag. Next time I make one of these, if I make another one, I think I'm going to use a walking foot for that instead of using a plain presser foot. And I'll post a video of what a walking foot is in the description so that you guys can go check that out. It's a really handy tool, actually. The only other difficult thing I think I had with this was working with the boning portion. Yeah, undid the coil of the boning and it just sprung apart in this huge explosion of slinky all over the room. So I do recommend, when working with this, do it in a large room with nothing breakable or any other individuals around, because it kind of flies all over the place. Also, when trying to put the boning into the casing, I found that the longer the bone was, the harder it was to put into the casing. But as I got to the shorter lengths, the boning just slid right into the casing. So there is a little bit of muscle work, but other than that, this really is a simple pattern to do. Like, straight lines, that's really all it is. You don't have to work with curves and folds and pleats and tucks. It's just straight lines, insert this into this hole, done. And that was about it for the construction process. The construction process and the pattern itself may have been a simple thing, but it was costly. Honestly, unless you want a true the period fullness of the 1800s, you're actually doing a period piece for the 1800s, then this is a great crinoline to use. But if you're wearing a prom dress and you want fullness, just get a cheap crinoline, because this was not a cheap thing to make. The pattern was $7. That's not including shipping and handling. Some of these costs have shipping and handling in them. The boning only came in 12-yard chunks, so I had to get 3 of those, and I only ended up using like 2.5. That was $58.50. The casing came in specific yardages. I got 14 yards of that, and it was $28. The bone ends, those little silver clips that I put on the last 2 bones, those come in 12-yard packages, or 12-piece packages. That was $2 for the whole package, but I only ended up using 4 pieces, so I'll end up using those ends other places anywhere, so the actual cost of what I used on this was next to nothing. The belt webbing was 2.5 meters, and I got that for $1.98 for the whole strip. The grosgrain ribbon used as the boning supports, I got 13 meters of that, and that was $11.96. The D-rings came in a package of 2, that was 72 cents. The slider was 60 cents, and I didn't even end up using it. The thread was $1.50 for 2 spools, and I only ended up using 1. The fabric that I used for the bag at the bottom That was 2 yards, and it was $4 for the 2 yards. For a grand total, including excluding, a grand total of $116.26. If you want to factor in shipping and handling, it was probably more like $150. So $150 just for a crinoline, I'm thinking it's probably easier to just go out and get a cheapo $40 one, and if you're using it for a prom dress. If you're using it for a period piece and you're going to use it multiple times over, then the $150 is worth it. But that being said, for me, this was an expensive project because I'm very limited to the materials that I have access to. A good majority of this stuff that I just mentioned in this list, I had to order online. There's one fabric store and a craft store here, and they don't have a whole lot here. This isn't a fashion town. If I wanted to do that, I'd have to travel further south. So that's that for the construction and the pricing. How about I try this thing on and show you what it looks like? Okay, let's get this thing going for you. I'm standing in the middle of it. Sorry I can't give you a better camera angle. You just grab it by the belt, pull it up. You want the belt to be sitting at your natural waistline. And then you slip it through both D-rings, fold over the first D-ring and go under the second, and pull to the desired tightness. And you pretty much have to go as tight as your natural waist. Okay, so there it is, what little of it you can see, sorry. You can see that these two aren't connected in the middle. This is so that you can get in and out of it. It's also so that when you sit down it doesn't completely spring up in front of you. So when you sit down, these actually kind of collapse in towards your waist rather than poking up like this when you sit. Everything actually sits quite nicely. Once you get it on, you kind of have to get in there and move a few straps around so that they're sitting better. Not really liking how the webbing kind of twists a little in the back because this is tighter than the pattern is actually meant to go. They didn't have a pattern that was as small as my waist size. So this is actually meant for a girl that's got like 3 extra inches on her waist compared to me, and I'm cinching this in past that. So I'll give you a little back view. I don't know if you can see, but as you can see here, the belt rolls over because it's tighter than it's supposed to go. I feel a bit like a belt. Yeah, it's nice and light. It's big right now, but once I get the heavy fabric of the dress sitting down on this, it is going to collapse a little bit. But the great thing about this is it's going to give me room to walk. Like, I'll just see, like, as you can see, it moves quite naturally with my body. It doesn't swing too much, and it stays it moves with me, which is nice. It doesn't sway too much all over the place unless I make like a really dramatic move like that. But I'm not going to be making too many dramatic moves like that, so I don't need to worry. And just noticed one of my bones is trying to creep out of its casing here. There we go. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I'll just give you a little. There's the bag portion. Here's the back. And yeah, another recommendation I would make though is that when you sew these ones in, that you also do a little bit of a seam along the bottom here and along the top here, because I'm noticing that this is twisting because I've only got it sewn along here. But other than that, this thing works really good. It's actually the right fullness that I need. And I can't wait to get started on the next project. So, there you have it. So there you have it, guys. You saw the crinoline. I'm sorry I couldn't get a better camera angle. Hopefully in the near future I will have a mannequin and I won't have to be the mannequin. That way I can get in there with the camera and actually show you the details a bit better. But for now, I guess me as a living mannequin will have to work. I hope that this playlist has been an interesting experience for you, as it has been for me. And I hope that if you make your own crinoline, it'll work out great. Please send me any pictures or videos if you have made this crinoline. I would love to see how you've done. Next time you come around, we'll be starting in on Princess Peach. I have been working on the drafting of the bodice portion. I've got all of the skirt pattern laid out. Next video will be talking about the materials because everything has finally showed up. So until next time, guys, happy sewing.